You're in the rant hole where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can be one and get one. This one is requested by Thosetimus. That's what we're going with this time. He says, so close to getting my name right last time, Digi. Rant about manga translation and the lack thereof. Yeah, manga translation is the biggest hurdle for me in getting into manga in a more serious way. And I don't blame anybody but myself, because I could just go learn Japanese and read whatever the hell I wanted. But, like, I said this in a previous video ranting about manga licensing, that, like, there is so much of it in Japan. There's just so much manga because manga is a much bigger cultural force than anime is. Anime is mostly consumed by, like, you know, by people who are fans of animation specifically, people who, you know, anime tends to be trendy because it has to reach an even broader audience than manga. Manga is written by one guy, it only has to pay off one guy's life, you know, so, like, one guy or girl or whatever, you know, they they're just written by one person, so that person reaps all the reward. So, like, you don't have to sell to a fucking million people to make enough to pay one guy, you know. Anime has to be, like, aimed at an audience who will spend more money on it than is normal in order for it to recoup its budget. But, like, so because of this, manga is incentivized to diversify as much as possible, to not be too much like the stuff that's already popular, because you don't have to make a profit. So, like, there is tons of manga that is, you know, written as a get rich quick scheme. Like, there's lots of people who are in Shonen Jump or something because they are hard workers who know that they can make a lot of money and they are capable of drawing well, and they, you know, they have decent writing abilities. And so, like, as long as they can just create cool shit, like, they'll be good forever. Like, they know that, and so they try to make something that's very boilerplate and just by the numbers, but as long as they can do it well enough, they know that they can be a fucking millionaire, you know? The average person's not going to try to go for that. They're just going to try to write whatever, you know, whatever speaks to them. And sure, they might do it for, like, smaller micro communities like Yuri or something like that. But, like, you know, there's just a lot more people who can get away with writing a lot more specific stuff because it's still able to pay their bills, you know, or at least to, you know, give them whatever income they need from it. So, like, yeah, it's just a way more diverse medium. And when you read blogs like Ogiwe Maniacs, where that's a guy who, you know, was an anime blogger, he learned Japanese, he went to Japan, he starts talking about stuff, like, from the perspective of somebody, you know, living that life, and immediately starts doing, like, manga reviews and, like, highlights of stuff that he's read. That seems way more interesting to me than anything being translated. You know, where, like, he's highlighting all this stuff that I'm like, oh my god, I would read that right away. I would read every chapter of that. I would actually follow that weekly. Or, like, another good example is Anime Critique, who is another anime blogger who could read Japanese and read a lot of, like, really obscure, like, doujin stuff, like, non-pornographic, you know, because there's tons of just fan-made comics that are just sold in Japan that can get fucking weird and really interesting, and, you know, like, nobody's translating those. Like, nobody's just finding random interesting doujinshi and translating them unless the artist gets famous. You know, like Yoshitoshi Abe. I have his original doujins, like, signed by him that, you know, are fucking, like, they're only in print in any way because he eventually became really well known for doing Serial Experiments Lane, Haibane Renmei, Techno Lies, you know, etc. So, like, um, I think that... Fuck, I lost my train of thought. My battery's dying.